Good morning students, welcome to the online classes of TMPS class 10. Today we will be discussing about another topic of the geography portion, that is natural vegetation. I have already given you the question answers of this chapter. Basically natural vegetation is a very important topic because it is another topic that covers 10 marks of your board examinations in a form of a question. I have told you that there are various parts which are divided, in which one portion is of natural vegetation in India also, that is covering 10 marks. Here you will be getting a complete question of 10 marks that would be from this chapter only. So you don't have to learn too much things from different chapters, only this chapter is enough, which would be more than enough for getting you good marks out of that 10. So, what is natural vegetation? First of all, what is vegetation? Basically vegetation are two types. One is man-made vegetation and second is natural vegetation. What is natural vegetation? You know that a vegetation is basically growth of plants, growth of trees, growth of two types. When we are talking about a natural vegetation, there the flora and fauna, there is immense and variety is there, because you have the nature that completely controls, and all the factors of nature are basically contributing in this growth of this region. So that is why there is a large variety of flora and fauna when there is a natural vegetation portion that we are studying. And after that, when we are studying about artificial vegetation, basically artificial vegetation, you know now, growth of crops, plantation agriculture. For human beings it is man-made, and that is why you don't have such a variety in that, because there they want only commercial purpose, they can earn money from there. That is why we are more concentrated in this chapter basically on the natural vegetation of India. The natural vegetation portion of India is basically a large and wide portion where we will be talking about what is natural vegetation, second, what is the use of the natural vegetation, how the natural vegetation occurs, and how this natural vegetation contributes in our day-to-day life, how it is important to a country like India, and what are its significance. So, you know that India is a variety of climate. You know, India is a vivid type of a country which has variety of climates. There are seasons, and we experience basically 6 seasons, but we are talking about mainly 4 seasons. So, when we are talking about 4 seasons, they are summer, winter, rainy season and retreating monsoon season that I have told you in climate chapter. Autumn, spring, all these seasons are also a part of that. And you know that there are different parts of the country which are having different type of climate throughout the year. That is why India is having vivid and variety. You know, India receives large amount of rainfall from the southwest monsoon, and that too I have told you, Arabian Sea branch basically gives 90% of the rainfall to the India, and basically the Bay of Bengal branch is directly attracted towards the low pressure trough of Myanmar. After that, in this chapter, basically we will be talking about 2 varieties of natural vegetation, that is the equatorial type of forest and the second is the deciduous type of forest. There are other also that we will be discussing in the next video. Basically this chapter would be covered in 2 videos, as it's a very important chapter and there are various questions that are attached to this chapter. After this, let us start that what is natural vegetation. Once again, natural vegetation is a type of vegetation in which the flora and fauna directly grows under the nature's guidance, and nature guidance basically provides the variety as well as the quantity and quality to develop. Correct? Second, there should be at least 33% of forest cover in a country as prescribed by the basically UNO and the basic organizations that look after the ecological as well as ecosystem balances all over the world. Global warming and other factors, they tell that at least 33% of the land, that is 1/3 of the land of the country, should be covered with forest. But what happened due to the rapid industrialization, due to the urbanization and growth of towns and cities, we are facing various problems that we are not able to cope up with it, and the forests are being cut down on a larger scale. For urbanization, for industrialization, deforestation is there. So that is why we have to preserve our forests, our natural resources, Otherwise, what is happening? The flora and fauna is also getting extinct. You know that there is a book which is being published by the Red Cross Society, that is book of endangered species. Endangered species basically are those species which are on a verge of getting extinct. What is extinction? Basically, extinction means when a particular species of a plant or an animal get extinct. In India, there is also a large amount of endangered species which are found, basically, such as the black buck. You know that some of the film stars that have killed that Nilgiri goat. There is also some animals such as yaks which are there. Lion was also on a verge of extinction when they were being now taken hostile and they were being killed for their skin and other things. But now, with efforts of the government and the state government and people, the number of lions as well as Save Tiger project was there to increase the number of tigers in the country. One-horned rhinoceros, which is one of the rare species in the world that is found in India, that is also being killed earlier. So that is why we know that we have to preserve this because these are the endangered species and they have to be cared, and for that natural vegetation is needed on a large scale. So natural vegetation basically depends upon the natural factors. What are the factors? First of all, the climate. Climate means the amount of rainfall which is there, what are the temperature that is found there. Second, basically when you talk about is the climate. After that, altitude. Altitude means the height. When you go on height, there is different temperatures and different type of soils and other factors which influence the growth of the plants and animals along with natural vegetation. There is also the distance from the sea, then latitude and the position with the sun. These are different factors which affect the natural vegetation of a particular place. So first we are talking about, there are various variety of animals and forests which are found in India. So first of all, we'll be talking about the forest that is found in India, and that is the most important, that is the equatorial type of forest. In this chapter also you have to remember the different names because the names are very important. If you don't remember the names, you will be having very much difficulties in finding out because the names are many times being confused by giving different forms. So one is equatorial type of forest. Second, it is also known with the name of Tarai regions or Tarai forest. Third, it is also known with the name of evergreen forest or the rain forest. So these are basically for the different names of equatorial type of forest. So you should remember. So these forests are basically found in the areas of Western Ghats. कहाँ मिलते हैं? In the areas of Western Ghats. Basically you know that Kerala and other regions which receive lots of rainfall. That is the region where we have this equatorial type of forest, and Northeast India when we talk about the northeast part of our country. So when we talk about this equatorial type of forest, this type of forest receives more than 200 centimeter of rainfall in the whole year basically. More than 200 centimeters of rainfall, it's a lots of rainfall. When this type of rainfall is there, so what happens, the temperature is hot and humid. Temperature is hot and humid, which is around 25 to 30 degrees Celsius all over the year, and it is having various type of effects on the type of vegetation which is found there. Here we have multi-layered vegetation, a very important topic, that is multi-layered vegetation. What is multi-layered vegetation? Here the multi-layered vegetation means that the crops are grown in layers. There are three basic layers. One is the tall trees which form canopy type structure. What happens that tall trees are basically around 60 to 70 meter tall, which are having hardwood. They are 70 to 80 meter tall, and they basically grow in such a manner that their leaves cover the whole of the portion from the top, so the sunlight does not reach downstairs. So the second and the third layer, that is shrubs, bushes, creepers, these flourish underneath. Algae, lichens, mosses, all these grow on a large scale in these areas, and that is why they are very difficult to exploit. You know that the equatorial forests are very difficult to exploit because no proper roads are there. It is sticky out there, and there is a large amount of animals, insects, butterflies, and reptiles along with snakes, lizards, chameleon. All are found in large areas. Tigers are also inhabited here. So this is an area which has a large variety of flora and fauna. There we have hardwood trees. So you should remember they have hardwood trees. which are having around 70 to 80 meters tall. They form a canopy-like structure, that is multi-layered vegetation is there, that is difficult to exploit. So in 1 marks question it can be asked. After that, it is very important that you should also remember the type of trees which are found here. Mahogany and rosewood are very important type of trees which are found here. It is very good for making expensive furniture, and rosewood is basically a wood which is red in color, and it is very having a very unique texture that is good for making violins. And these are very precious wood which is found in these areas. These areas, I have told you, it is difficult to exploit them, and they have a large amount of variety. So you should remember, in this type of basic questions when they are there, they will be asking you the trees and the uses of the trees. But sometimes they'll be giving you use, and they'll be asking which tree is there, where it is found, what is the basic significance. So you should remember. So these areas basically are having the equatorial type of forest. After that, we'll be coming to the next type, that is the deciduous forest. Deciduous forest is basically known with the name of monsoon forest. It is also known with the name of monsoon forest. These are monsoon forests which have a rainfall of around 150 centimeters. And what are the difference in that? These occur in pure strands. What happened? That you know that the equatorial type of forest, they were multi-layered, they were close together each other, and 3-layer vegetation was there, and they were difficult to exploit. But it is not there in this case. It is easy to exploit, and they occur in pure strand. What does it mean? That they occur in a proper gap or distance. That is why it is known as pure strands. They occur in pure strands. And after that, you should remember that deciduous forest is basically all those forests which are very important commercially all over the country. All over the country, commercially it is very important because this is also having hardwood. The particular areas are of Karnataka, then you will be moving towards MP, Gujarat, some portions are there, Maharashtra portions are there. These are basically, and then when you go towards these regions of Eastern Ghats also. These are having the deciduous type of forest. They are commercially very important, and most of the country is covered with deciduous forest only. It is a very important type of forest, as I have told you that it is commercially very important. Hardwood trees yielded here, and there are different type of trees which are found in this area which is used for various purposes, such as that teak, sal. Then teak and sal basically are very important as they are used in the making of furniture. साखू सागवान आपने सुना होगा, लकड़ियां होती हैं जिससे फर्नीचर, सोफा सेट and other basic things are being used. So this is also found in this region. Sandalwood का नाम आपने सुना होगा. Sandalwood is a very important tree which is found in this region because it is used in cosmetic industries. आपने बहुत सुना होगा sandalwood के बारे में. Sandalwood cosmetic industry में यूज होता है, perfumes में यूज में आता है. So these are basically trees which are found here. Along with that, there are trees such as mango is also found in these regions. Then their jackfruit is also there. There are various other things which are also found near this region. The temperature in this region is average, which is basically around 20 to 35 degrees Celsius. In winters, it reaches around 20 degrees Celsius. 15 to 20 the average temperatures there in winters, and when you go towards the summers, it is around 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. They are in pure strand. They are commercially very important trees, and they are found in this region. I hope today's video is clear to you. Today we have covered portion till deciduous forest. There are different various type of forests which have to be covered, such as the mountain type of forest. Then there is another type, that is tidal forest or mangrove forest. Then there is xerophytic type, that is the desert forest. Then what is soil conservation, what is natural vegetation conservation, reforestation, afforestation. All these things we'll be discussing in the next video. If you have any problem, doubts or queries, you can call me or text me. Hope you have enjoyed that video, and keep on studying. Thank you.